What's up, everybody? Ringside Report MMA is live. UFC 279 press conference just got canceled. Backstage brawls in the UFC. What's the status of UFC 279? Let's get this going.
Let's go!
Let's bring in the guys. What's up, guys?
It's over. It's a shit show. It's over. Let's cancel the show tonight.
Our show?
Yeah, man, because there's nothing to talk about. I think it's going to be canceled, man.
Oh, no, there's nothing to talk about. There was just a backstage brawl in the UFC.
Ooh.
Let's just say that happened and not discuss it or just kind of leave it alone.
No,
What?
man, let's discuss it. What are you talking about?
Well, you said there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, okay. See you later, guys. Good night.
Bye. Hey, Fred.
Freddie.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to bring to that.
Okay, let me bring something right off the
Weird way
bat.
to...
Let me bring something right off the bat, Fred, all right? And I'm going to get you to react first to it because I know AJ's charged up, but I want to hear what you think. Dana White audio from moments ago canceling the UFC 279 press conference after what he called a shit show erupted backstage. Here's UFC President Dana White about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, this ain't gonna happen. I apologize, everybody. I am in very weird waters here. This has never happened in the history of this company. So, trust me when I tell you this is the right decision not to do this press conference right now. And, yeah. I hear you. I'm with you. But for everybody's safety, this is the right decision. All right? I apologize. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
There it is. UFC President Dana White at the UFC 279 press conference. It seems like Khamzat Chimaev and Kevin Holland started some sort of fight. Their teams got involved in something. And then Nate Diaz's team, the Diaz Army, got involved, and it just kind of erupted from there. They didn't do a press conference. Fred, do you think this Nate Diaz-Khamzat Chimaev fight will still happen on Saturday night? What's your bet?
I mean, if nobody's injured, it should happen, man. Everybody wants to get paid. And Nate wants to get done with the UFC, and this is how you get done. So if you're Nate Diaz, you want the fight to get made. If you're Khamzat Chimaev, you want the fight to get made because you're the favorite, and this is a fight where you could really make your name for yourself. Khamzat's already a name, but if he beats Nate like some people expect him to, maybe destroys him, we'll see. Khamzat has he could build a reputation off this fight, so this fight should be made, man, unless somebody's injured. The only way I could see this getting canceled if somebody got injured in that scuffle, but it's too new right now, so it just happened 15 minutes ago. There's not that many information, so...
Freddie, well, I was watching it live, okay, when this was happening, and I'm going to tell you, it started off really weird. I'm like, why is Kevin Holland the first guy out? And to be honest, I'm a little bit skeptical about Kevin Holland getting into any melee with anyone because he looked okay. I think it goes beyond that because when Dana White says that this is the first time in UFC history that they have to cancel a press conference, I think it's deeper than that. I mean, for him to say that for everyone's safety, everyone's got to get out, it's deeper than that. I don't know what went on. And, we've seen this before in press conferences or stare downs where things get heated. We saw that with Connor, and the freaking trolley or whatever you want to call it that crashed through the bus. We saw some crazy shit. But they didn't cancel a press conference. They didn't stop anything. And here we are tonight at UFC 279. I think it went deeper than that. When someone says, for everyone's safety, you got to get out. And from all the messages I was looking at, they moved everybody out. Maybe there was a gun. Maybe there was, some heated exchange. But I can tell you that it had nothing to do with Kevin Holland. I'm pretty sure. It's got to do a lot with Diaz. And you know what?
What?
I'm telling you.
Hold on. Rewind.
Speculating.
No. What are you
I'm
talking
speculating.
about? Crazy.
I'm speculating.
Unbelievable.
I'm speculating. If anybody's going to cause some controversy, craziness, it's Diaz, man. Diaz, I'm telling you some shit. Why did they take him? He come out. I'm telling
Show
you,
some
Dave.
respect.
No, man, I'm showing respect. Diaz probably went wild, man. Something went down enough for them to cancel a press conference. You know how much money is involved in the press conference? Sponsors, advertising. Listen, for him to just, I was watching it live, like I said. Once I saw that first handler come up, it was this lady. She came up, and you could see, like, whatever she said, like, Dana was trying to keep his composure. I'm looking at that. I'm like, oh, that's weird, man. What the hell's going on? And then, like, the shit show got even weirder. And then once the other handler came out, it was this guy, and he went up to Dan, and Dan was like, what the fuck? It was enough for it to end right there, man. I'm telling you, man, it's deeper than this. I have a feeling, man. Oh, man, I don't want to say this, but I think UFC 279 is going to be like a blowout. You know what Kevin Holland said?
Can I read Kevin Holland's tweet?
No, but Kevin Holland says it's going to be him that saves the fight. Listen, man.
Ahead.
Kevin Holland tweeted 10 minutes ago, just so everyone knows, I offered that clown a free beard trim. I don't know anywhere in the U.S. that would offer that service free. I'm precise. I promise I would knock him. I would not nick him at your service, just like the hotel staff, bro. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but yeah, something happened between Kevin Holland and Khamzat. Well, he offered him a beard trim.
Well, he did.
What does that mean?
Here's Kevin Holland's Twitter, where he sent a video to Khamzat about.
I noticed you guys just really want this fucking Chimaev beef. Since you guys want it, bring me some fucking Manscaped clippers. I'm cutting his fucking beard off tomorrow. Matter of fact,
what?
I noticed you guys just really want.
I don't know.
What the hell's he talking about?
Kevin Holland, AJ.
No, man, he looked.
Yeah,
no, man,
it's
not,
Kevin Holland and Khamzat Chimaev. That's what the reports are. Is that Kevin Holland, and Khamzat Chimaev?
I don't believe it.
They got into it, and then apparently the Diaz brothers, probably the brothers, and some other guys got into it as well with some of the other guys, and things got a little crazy, and punches and kicks were being thrown, as well as objects being reported right now by Ariel Helwani. So it just seemed like a complete brawl melee backstage, like Dana White said. It was a shit show, like AJ just keeps saying, So that seems to have been the case. What happened was, Kevin Holland and Khamzat got into it. The security wasn't able to stop it. And then the Diaz team got into it as well. And not doing the press conference, I don't think means that the fight card is going to be canceled. I think there's way too much money that depends on this fight card. The problem is, somebody might get arrested. Somebody might, it's funny. We're dealing with a similar situation that just happened in pro wrestling in AEW over the weekend.
What?
CM Punk said some things that were pretty disrespectful to a lot of his coworkers, and then apparently he got into a fight with some of his coworkers, with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and there was a fight backstage, and CM Punk was the world champion at the time. Kenny and the Bucks had just won the Trios Championship, and they've all been stripped of their titles and suspended. They were removed from the opening of AEW TV. Last night on Dynamite, they weren't in the opening of Dynamite. Their names weren't mentioned, but it was said that the titles had been vacated. So there was a whole deal in AEW, and it feels like it just won't stop. Everywhere you go, you're seeing or you're hearing about these backstage brawls, total chaos, and things getting canceled or plans getting changed. And I think the real question is going to be in the next few hours and maybe the next day or so, does anybody get arrested and is anybody hurt? That's really the main thing. But, I mean, hurt at this point, you're weighing in tomorrow. The weigh-in is tomorrow morning. Like, these guys have to be ready to go. I don't know where they're staying, but it seems to me like you can't really have Khamzat around any of these people. I don't know if it's Khamzat, if it's Kevin Holland, if it's Nate Diaz causing the problems. It seems like it was Kevin Holland and Khamzat first.
No.
I don't know why you're sticking up for them so much. I don't know why you're so anti-Diaz. However,
no, I'm not, man.
Well, all the reports are saying Holland and Khamzat started it, and then Diaz and his crew joined in. Because, I mean, it's a backstage brawl. They're going to join in. It's what they do. They love to fight.
But Kevin Holland was on the front when all that melee was going on. In the back, whatever happened, it escalated to a level that they had to evacuate everybody for safety reasons. The thing is that Kevin Holland might have said some shit while he was going in. But the thing, Kevin Holland was sitting there talking with Daniel to the reporters when the handlers came up. So something is deeper than Kevin Holland because he was there. He was the only guy at the press conference. I'm telling you, man, I really feel we're going to get some news tonight, and it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm hoping for the best. I really want to see a UFC card on Saturday. We hope to do a watch-along Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, when that pay-per-view starts. And I was hoping to see Khamzat Chimaev and Nate Diaz. I think the fight's probably still going to happen, but you never know, I suppose. They stripped CM Punk, so anything's possible. I'll be talking about that with Johnny North tomorrow night. We'll go in-depth on all the AEW drama tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time here on the Ringside Report Network. Shout out to everybody watching right now. All the members, don't forget to join.ringsidereport.net, join.ringsidereport.net, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment on the video as well. Helps us with the things. Send
us your love, man. Send us your love.
So man,
what a weird night,
man. It completely broke down. It's not the first time that the Diaz brothers have caused chaos, and I guess that's why, AJ, you're blaming them because they've been involved in a lot of chaos, but it seems like Kevin Holland... It seems like Kevin Holland and Khamzat were the main ones causing trouble.
Nah, I don't believe it at all, man. They were there, man. They were sitting down front face of the reporters when things were happening like big time. I'm telling you, man. You know, I'm telling you, Dave, my strong suspicion, speculation, I have a feeling Diaz is involved in some shit. And, you know, Khamzat being like a Chechen, man, no fucking around guy.
What?
You know,
he's hanging around. His best friend is Darren Till. DUI Darren. Let's get real.
Here we go, man.
His best friend is DUI Darren, and you're telling me that he is a straight and narrow, upstanding citizen? I don't know about that.
I'm telling you, man. I think Diaz bit more than he could chew, man. I have a feeling, man.
I agree with Dave.
Thank you.
Listen, it's okay.
Okay, let me touch this one.
Go.
There's this meme on the internet where you see like the sexy reporter, I don't know who she is, she's interviewing Habib, and Habib is not looking at all. But when she's interviewing Khamzat is like, oh, yeah.
I see. There you go. Different.
That's Khamzat for you, man.
Exactly.
But I'd really like. Well, I guess we'll find out more as the night goes on, and we'll see who's like
objects ending the night. And so I'm just gonna go in AJ mode and speculate. Maybe a fight broke out between Kevin Holland and Khamzat, and then the Diaz said, "Yeah, let's fight and let's throw things."
Maybe something got thrown in their direction, and they decided to throw back.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you that wasn't only the weird part, because after Dana White walks off, people are like, what the fuck? What do we do? All of a sudden, you see like this guy fly on stage with this yellow hair. I'm like, who the hell is that? It's Tony Ferguson. And he's like, anybody got a comment? I'm out of here. And he runs out. I'm like, what the hell is going on, man? This press conference is like bananas. I mean, obviously, maybe Tony, I thought Tony at one point might have been involved and got injured. But when I saw him come on and he bolted out, I'm like, no, it's not Tony. It's not Kevin Holland. It's not Daniel. Who's missing?
Nobody has
Diaz.
Footage.
I'm sure it's there, Freddie. But you know what? Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll come out soon. But I'm sure there's a lot of like the UFC handlers that are trying to suppress whatever happened. And I'm sure, I'm telling you, man, I have a feeling this card is going to be cut short.
Here is a report from Jose Youngs from MMA Fighting, who says that Dana White said that there were multiple things happening backstage between fighters all at once.
Wow.
But the show will go on this weekend. And
who's saying that?
Jose Youngs from MMA Fighting. He's a reporter for MMA Fighting. This is on Twitter. Because Dana White did a a brief scrum backstage with a few reporters to fill them in on what was going on. After the press conference got canceled, Dana White spoke to a few people, and he also confirmed that Kevin Holland and Khamzat Chimaev were the guys that started the fight backstage, despite AJ's persistence that it's all Nate's fault. So the show will go on, which is good news. Nate Diaz will fight Khamzat Chimaev. How's it going to look tomorrow when they have to do the face-to-face for the weigh-in, the ceremonial face-off thing? I guess it's ceremonial. Technically, they don't have to do it. The real weigh-in is in the morning. The evening thing is just a ceremonial weigh-in for the crowd. Nate doesn't necessarily have to be there, or they can just have walls and walls of security and cops and figure it out. I mean, I guess another thing that seems to have happened backstage is that there was not enough police and security presence between everybody to keep everything safe, because I remember certain feuds getting real serious and real, like when John Jones fought Daniel Cormier in that casino in Vegas, right? They fought each other and they had to be separated. You remember that? They had a press conference, they got into it, and they fought each other, right? And that was chaos. Stage. Because how the hell do you stop Daniel Cormier and John Jones? What do you do?
Scary, man.
Right? So when they had to do the fight and they did the face-offs, they had like walls of cops. You know, like tons of cops. And it wasn't like security guard. It was police. You know, to make sure that nobody got too close or out of line. And it seems like that's what the UFC needs for this. So don't be surprised if there is a heavy police presence for the rest of the weekend for UFC 279. Also, don't be surprised when the UFC gets UFC 279 all done and they no longer need to pay for that police presence. Don't be surprised if the fights then resume between all the camps, because then they're on their own, you know, they're independent contractors, so they could just, you know, have at it on the streets of Las Vegas. So definitely look out for that fan footage coming up Sunday morning from what happened after the fights, the fight after the fight, because it seems like we're heading in for one of those weekends. You know what I mean?
Well, it's going to pump up the numbers.
The fight.
Dave, it'll pump up the viewership for this UFC 279. And I know we were talking earlier, and Freddie's not crazy about the card, but I like the card. I like the guys that are on there, man. There's all my favorites that are on this card. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if it's actually going to actualize, whatever you want to call it. I don't think
I'll take that.
Actualize, like I said. But I'm telling you, man, there's something weird about this night. We'll see tomorrow. If anybody's in the clink in Nevada, they're there for at least 48 hours, man. You know, it's just a weird night for professional combat organizations. You know, pro wrestling and MMA, man, you know, this has been a crazy week. Welcome to September, guys. And the Queen died too, man.
Yes.
I can't say long live the Queen anymore.
It's a king now. King Charles III.
Dude, that's I mean, if honestly, you know, most people are like,
money? What? Are we changing our money?
I'm not going to go get no King Charles coins. There's no fucking way. I'll keep the Queen. No King Charles.
You know what I'm saying? Is she going away? That's the Queen on our money.
No, she's not going to go away, man. But I can't believe that Charles is actually king, man.
You know the Queen gets a cut.
Crazy day.
You know the Queen gets a percentage of our money because she's on all the money, right? She gets a percentage. You know what they call that?
What?
Royalties.
Extortion. Oh.
Royalties.
AJ,
get it? Come on.
You ready to run after some dragons with some catapults?
King
Charles?
Hello?
Hey, that was a good one.
Yeah. Shit.
It took a while, but then that's pretty funny, man.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty good, dude. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Either or, man, most people are not happy about Charles. They were never happy about Charles from the beginning. He probably killed, like, Princess Diana, speculation.
Whoa. No, he didn't.
Listen.
He definitely didn't.
The Queen did.
Listen.
No, she didn't. Do you know how much coordination? It's ridiculous. They got the driver drunk so that he would drive into a thing? I don't think it's possible. I don't think they did that.
I don't know, dude. I'm gonna tell you something.
on.
Just
I mean,
listen,
it's possible.
man.
I
Hey,
guess. It is technically
guys,
possible.
guys, give me 2 seconds here. Let me just say something.
No.
Out of the three of us, no, this is important.
Didn't sell opium.
No, listen. No. On AJ here from RingsideReport.net, not Joe Rogan, not Matt Serra, not George St. Pierre, not Khamzat, no Diaz. I had the
Stop
opportunity.
naming names.
Listen, I'm just saying. I know for a fact they probably didn't meet this guy, but this is before he got caught for like pedophilia and all the rest. But what I'm trying to get is, I actually met like Prince Andrew, and I talked to him, and I shook hands with him. He came to my workplace one time, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" And he had all these Secret Service around him, and he was asking me all kinds of questions, whatever. He was an okay guy back then, but then look what happened after, man. He's been involved with a lot of things, including Epstein. So, dude, I think Freddie's right, man. A lot of shit went down, man. Epstein disappeared.
Don't throw me into your. Don't use me now.
Yeah.
But AJ shook the hands of royalty, like
Good
this.
for you.
Actually, I wanted to give him a fist bump.
Michael Jackson, and you spent time with Prince Andrew. That's not very good, man.
Yeah, you really have a bad. Yeah, don't talk about AJ's affiliation to Michael Jackson, Fred. Ixnay on the Michael. Yeah, not good. So it looks like UFC 279 is on. It looks like it is going to happen. Khamzat Chimaev is going to fight Nate Diaz. They're going to have to keep police between them at all times. And it looks like they're going to have to keep Kevin Holland. I don't understand how this all went down. Dana White comes out. He says there was a shit show backstage. And then he says we're going to do 2 at a time. Right? They plan to do a press conference. Dana comes out. He says we'll do 2 at a time. So here's Kevin Holland and his opponent. What's his face? Right? So what's the guy's name? Rodriguez?
Pizza face. Yeah, he's listen, man. He's something. He's impressive.
He's very good.
Man.
Daniel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I just couldn't at the time.
Full of tattoos, man. He's got
a lot of tattoos. A lot of MMA fighters have tattoos. They love them.
No. He's got a lot more.
So Dana comes out and he says, okay, it was a shit show backstage. People were fighting. Khamzat and Kevin Holland, they were doing stuff. And it was all a big mess. It's a big melee, and it's still going on. Because people are mad in there. And when you got, this is the problem. When you have, 10 MMA fighters here that are, because the Diaz brothers, they're hanging out with, 20 other guys, and they're all fighters. And Kevin Holland, he's got a crew, and they're all, trainers or fighters in some sort of way. Everybody's a martial artist. Everybody can fight. And you're getting all these people, and then, when they get mad and they want to fight each other, then it could get really crazy because you never know who's going to do what. So it's tough to stop. Sometimes these things don't stop for a while because security can't really deal with it because these guys are dangerous. They're walking weapons. A lot of these people are walking weapons. You know what I mean? So it's tough to deal with.
Even security gets nervous when you got to get in the middle of a guy like whoever, a Diaz, a Khabib. Well, Khabib was never a problem, but he did have problems with Conor, right? With that whole incident that went viral, and it almost canceled the event.
Started a riot. Khabib beat Conor McGregor, and he almost started a riot.
Absolutely, but I'm saying when Conor threw the trolley at the bus, there was all kinds of injuries. I mean, things get crazy. The problem is that once that momentum starts rolling, and you got to be security to stop these guys, man, it's stressful because, like you said, Dave, they are walking weapons, man. These guys are dangerous machines. And, when emotions are up, and God knows what happened tonight, but it's obviously enough for – you're seeing pictures? I'm saying I'm seeing
a picture of Nate, and he's walking with a big crew also. There's 15 people at least, yeah, if not more. So
it's tough to stop that. The Diaz army, and then Khamzat's got a crew of guys, and Kevin Holland's got a crew of guys. It's difficult to deal with. But Dana White comes out at the top of this press conference, says it's a shit show, so instead of having everybody out on the stage, they're going to do one fight at a time. So out come Rodriguez and Kevin Holland, and they answer a few questions, and then they leave. And then some people come to talk to Dana, and then more people come and talk to Dana, and then Dana says, let me get the audio again, cancels the press conference, right? I could play the audio here for you in a second.
Play it.
Dana cancels the press conference, Here again is Dana White, if you're just joining us.
Yeah, this ain't gonna happen. I apologize, everybody. I am in very weird waters here. This has never happened in the history of this company. So, trust me when I tell you this is the right decision not to do this press conference right now. And, yeah. I hear you. I'm with you. But for everybody's safety, this is the right decision. All right? I apologize. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
So Dana's obviously mad, and he has to cancel the press conference because at this point he decides there's no point in continuing because there's no way we get Khamzat and Nate out here without both of their teams starting a riot in the arena with all the fans. That's why he's saying for your own safety. Because if Nate and Khamzat start answering questions about each other, right, in front of each other, they may insult each other, their teams may get into it again, and then a riot starts, and then the safety of the fans that are there to watch the press conference, then the safety is in jeopardy. So Dana White is not putting out the Diaz team, the Khamzat team, because he realizes that it could be really bad for everybody, right? It could turn into a massive brawl. But why didn't Tony Ferguson and Li Jingliang come out? Like, what's the deal there?
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
They're in the co-main event. How come Tony Ferguson and Li Jingliang didn't come out? Like Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez, they came out, did their thing, because Kevin Holland wasn't brawling with Daniel Rodriguez. He was brawling with Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat and Nate obviously didn't come out because they were both involved in the brawl and I guess couldn't be around each other. But Li Jingliang and Tony Ferguson, like, what happened there?
Yeah, but Tony Ferguson actually did come out. Like I said, he came out for like a split second, threw out a comment, and then ran off stage. I mean, you're right. Why didn't they just bring out like Lee and Tony? Because obviously Tony seemed to be okay. He wasn't involved in it, which I'm glad. But man, it's just weird. So I'm telling you, I'm looking at some.
Khamzat posted a video also on Instagram where he says, I told him not to play with, well, he speaks, I think, Russian or something, but supposedly he says, I told him not to play with us, and Kevin got what he deserved, Diaz also. So that is a little 11-second video.
Who said that, Freddie? It was Khamzat that said that? But look at Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland looked perfectly fine. There was not a bruise on him or a sweat mark, so I'm kind of confused.
Khamzat looks okay.
Man, I don't know. It's weird. Something.
Let's just hope it happens, man. This is going to sell the fight even more. I want to see the embedded tomorrow. They better give us some footage. Dana, man, don't fucking disappoint me, man. I want footage.
Give me that embedded.
Don't tell me there's no cameras.
Can we hear from Khamzat here?
Play it.
Говорил я им всем не шутить с нами. Кевин свое получил, Диаз свое получил.
I don't know what the hell that means.
All I know is I can see kind of like a scuff mark.
He said Kevin Poopachu, Diaz Poopachu.
Yeah, Kevin got what he deserved. Nate Diaz, Nate also.
Pikachu.
Nothing happened.
So why would you cancel a conference if nothing happened, man? No. There's something that happened. But the thing is, I looked above like Khamzat's nose. It looked like he had like a red mark across that nose. Who knows what the hell happened? Somebody's saying that bottles were thrown, like you were saying. So, but for everybody's safety, you got to exit. We've seen worse with Conor. We've seen worse with the Diaz brothers, man. We've seen bottles flying. We've seen trolleys flying. We've seen people flying. So there's no way that they're going to stop this. First time in the history of the UFC to close a press conference when there's a lot of money on the line. No, man, it goes more than that.
I'm never
seen better than any press conference. Like for the UFC, this is better because I mean Nate would have been bitching for an hour, like, "Oh, UFC don't respect me," blah blah blah. Now the UFC don't even have this fucking bad press, and they got like a story to sell. So this fight's gonna be made, and actually the UFC are winners in this. I'll go conspiracy. That's what they wanted. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I think that this actually works because the UFC is trending right now. UFC 279 is trending. Everybody wants to know what's going on, what happened at the press conference, and it's hot right now. It's hot.
And I'll tell you another thing.
It's hot, and it's going to work in the favor of UFC 279 and the pay-per-view buys.
And like I just said, Nate is not bitching right now, and I predict that if Nate loses, man, I don't know if Nate makes it at the post-fight press conference. We might have one of these situations where, you know, Dana manages to say, like, yeah, we don't need him here at the press conference, and we don't need anybody bad-mouthing us.
No, I don't think there's any way Nate Diaz makes it to the post-fight press conference. I don't think we hear from Nate Diaz again until after the fight. He'll probably talk to Joe Rogan in the octagon, but that'll be that. I don't think he does a post-fight press conference.
Man, there's
Although
a picture
the
I
UFC
just saw.
might want the views, man. I mean, it's good for their stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, man. Listen, I'm laughing, man. I'm looking at a picture of, like, Tony Ferguson with his hand up, glasses on, with his platinum blonde hair. You know, I'm telling you, look at this guy, man. He reminds me of, like, some boy band or something. But I'm telling you, that was even the weirdest part, other than, like, Connor. I keep saying Connor, but Dana taking off is Tony Ferguson coming in, screaming, next question, and running out. I mean, I don't know, man. This is going to be a – you know, I planned my picks on how the conferences go, how they're looking at each other, like, you know, the stare down and all that kind of stuff. Man, this is going to be a tough one, man. This is nuts. This is the UFC, man. That's why it's like one of the – I think the best sport in the world, man. There's so much action with this crazy sport, man. It's unbelievable.
Well, you know, the word is nobody is hurt. Nothing serious happened, although it did get pretty crazy and people were kind of throwing punches and kicks at each other, and there was chaos definitely backstage. But it seems like nobody that is fighting this weekend was injured in any type of way, and Dana White is saying that the fights will go on. So that's the best part about all this.
We're talking about all that, but we haven't talked about, does Nate have a chance? Does anybody give Nate a chance tomorrow, Saturday? Because, man, this is a tough fight for Nate, man. I feel like Nate is a tough guy, man. He might take a beating for 25 minutes, but I don't see him pulling off an upset, unfortunately, for him.
Look, it's probably the toughest fight in his career going up against Khamzat, especially at this point in his career. It's insane, man. This is going to be like a bad send-off. If nothing happened tonight and Diaz is okay and actually shows up to the fight on Saturday night,
he will.
It's gonna. I hope so, Dave. But I'm telling you, like, you know what's killing me is I'm looking at all the comments coming in through like what's trending, and somebody said it right. They said with all the cameras that are there, nobody has a footage of what went on. I'm telling you, man, it's weird, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. I want to see Diaz fight. I want to see Diaz fight his last fight. I want to see Diaz fight the way he does. You got to literally kill him to beat him. But he's going up against a guy like Khamzat. Khamzat is just too good in every way possible. To fight a guy like Diaz, it's almost like he's fighting a journeyman, man. It's not the same level of competition, and I'm afraid he's going to get hurt. If he didn't get hurt tonight, that's what I'm telling you. But we'll see. I don't think, listen, if you go with Diaz for the win, man, the payout is going to be great. But I seriously doubt that's going to happen. I know what to call I don't think it. What's happening?
Here's a little bit more audio from Dana White where he talked to reporters after this thing got canceled.
Let's hear it.
There was multiple crazy. I don't even know what to call it. However many years, 22 years, however long I've been doing this, we've never had an incident like today. Just all hell broke loose out here. We did I don't know. I don't even know how, we stopped it, but we didn't do a good job of not letting it happen. It just, I don't know what went on here. It just never happened before, and we'll be ready for it the next time.
There it is.
Dude, that's bad, man. And I'm going to tell you that in 22 years, He's seen a lot of shit. We've seen the Conor shit. We've seen the Diaz shit. We've seen a lot of crazy shit in the UFC before the fights. And if he's saying that in 22 years he's never seen anything like this and it got out of hand, I'm telling you, there's people that are injured and there's people that are not going to be at the fight on Saturday night. That's why he's pissed. I'm sure like the UFC brass is like gonna reschedule the fights. I'm telling you, it's not good. If that guy, listen, man, what it comes down to is this: you've seen Conor with the trolley where people got injured, people got arrested, people got injured, people almost lost their career out of that. And if he thinks this is worse than that, holy shit, man, there's a lot of footage that's being like suppressed, big time. This happened in an area of wherever they are, in a secluded place, man. Something went down, and I think somebody got seriously injured. And we'll find that out soon. There's a lot of liabilities, eh, Dave? They can't say anything right now.
There's no word on any kind of injuries.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good.
And they'll be prepared for the next time. Man, they're always prepared.
Maybe Paulo Costa was involved in this too. It seems like maybe, I don't know if he was there, or I don't know what the story is with Paulo Costa, but he seems to be beefing with Khamzat Chimaev, and he just posted this 18 minutes ago to his Twitter.
Listen, man.
Khamzat in a coffin, rest in peace? Like, what happened? I don't understand. There are rumors flying around that Khamzat is going to be removed from the fight and Tony Ferguson's going to fight Nate Diaz in the main event instead. I mean, there's just all sorts of shit going on right now. It's hard to figure out what's real. I don't think that that's real right now. I'm going to operate under the assumption that it will be
there's
Nate
a lot of bullshit
versus Khamzat. Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit out there.
Listen, man, I have something else that popped up right now from someone, and I don't know if this is true or if Darren Till is actually there, but I'm pretty sure he's there. But apparently he suffered a broken jaw, broken nose, and a fractured orbital bone after being hit with a Stockton slap. So, I mean,
that's not true, man.
Who did? That's a lie. That's not true.
I hope it's
get out of here. Man, I think Darren Till was there. Darren Till probably shot off at the mouth. I mean, we have a guy, Reekin6, who's saying Paulo Costa was there. Welcome, Reekin6. A lot of new people are watching the show tonight because this is a hot issue right now in the UFC. So welcome to everybody that is watching us. If you're a new viewer of the Ringside Report Network, we're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. talking UFC. We do watch-alongs for every UFC pay-per-view. We'll be back here on Saturday night. Please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Shout out to Patrick C. Hamilton dropping the lucky 777 super chat, saying all you new people watching, follow these guys. They are the best. Thank you, Patrick, out in Regina, Saskatchewan.
Thanks,
and it's crazy what's going on right now as far as
that's what I'm telling you.
All the news coming in from the Brawl, right? Because there's different stories coming out. But right now, as far as I'm concerned, because Dana White said no injuries, all the fights that were planned are still on for Saturday night.
He's bullshitting, man. You know Dana's bullshitting when he's saying that.
I don't know.
There's no way. I'm telling you, man, Dana is bullshitting. Tomorrow we're going to get like a whole bunch of like footage and the truth that comes out. I'm telling you, man, I have a feeling Diaz won't be there on Saturday night. I hope I'm wrong, man. But it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
I'm seeing a clip that supposedly is from after the press conference where Kevin Holland and Khamzat are still jawing at each other. So AJ's whole story about like this has nothing to do with Kevin Holland just keeps falling apart.
Yeah. This has everything to do with Kevin Holland and Khamzat Chimaev. Here's Daniel Rodriguez's Instagram story that we could show you here, showing Khamzat and what's his face? Kevin Holland still fighting with each other. Here we go.
Let's see this.
Here's this.
Still at it, bro. They still at it? Oh, wow. Hey, bro. Yo, wow. What's going on here, dog? Y'all wild out here. Gary, are still at it, bro. They still at it.
All right, I guess that's Khamzat.
What are they fighting at the buffet table?
Right, there's Kevin Holland.
Oh, wow.
And Khamzat, I guess, is over there somewhere. There's Kevin Holland. So they're just still going at it in the casino. It's not over. There's security. I don't know what's going on.
Damn, it's nuts. Fighting for the buffet table again, man. We saw that with Kobe. Remember the last time at the buffet table, he went nuts? Well, thanks to him, man, I got like over 1 million views. Thank you, Kobe. But listen, dude, is that the aftermath or is that like the beginning?
After. This is after.
After. Well, whatever, that's after. If they're still acting like that after, it's very different than what happened during. So it's a different story, man. I'm telling you. Dana's probably flipping
if we
out.
think about it, okay, we got Khamzat, who's a red-blooded guy. You know, like he has a temper probably. You got Nate. We know Nate has a temper. We got Kevin Holland, man. Kevin Holland fights crime, man. Kevin Holland's not scared of anybody, man. And then you got like Tony Ferguson, man. Like for sure something was gonna happen, man. I'm not surprised. Come on, man. You know that meme of Nate Diaz? I'm not surprised, motherfucker. I'm not surprised.
Here's Dana White talking to reporters, confirming once again that it was Kevin Holland and Khamzat Chimaev.
What instigated the whole thing? What kind of started the whole deal?
There were multiple things going on at the same time. It wasn't just one thing that erupted and it happened. There were multiple things going on back here at the same time. So there was security over there. There was no security over here. There was no security over there because everybody was dealing with the other thing. And then once it all just started erupting, it was a complete show.
Any fighters get cut? Any fighters get cut or injured in any way?
No.
Out of the 6 people,
nobody's hurt.
Out of the 6 people, how many were involved? Was like all 6 of them like getting in skirmishes? Was it 4 of them? How many of them?
4. Yeah, there were 4 involved.
Which 2 weren't?
Probably the 2 you asked questions.
I can tell you there were 3. Hey, would you say this is good for business? I mean, you know, given it's a bad thing to happen, but for the show, does it pique interest in the show?
No, I mean, I don't even think about it like that. It's like, oh yeah, this is great. No, it's bad. It's all bad. It's bad.
A reporter just put out that it was Khamzat and Kevin Holland that started the whole thing, and it was kind of a domino effect in there. Is that the case?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Damn. I'm telling you, man, is it going to bring up, like, views to this fight? Damn right, man. Even our show, man, the numbers are just flying. Absolutely, man. This is the best thing that could happen to UFC 279. If no one got arrested, man, and no one's going to be able to, like, no one got injured, you know, then it'll be great. But if somebody got injured, people got arrested, man, forget it. We're going to have, like, the prelim fights, like, moved up to, like, the main card. You know, that's what's going to happen.
Sounds like
I
a
love
Royal
that all
Rumble.
these guys are probably in the same hotel. Room's not that far, so the UFC for the next 48 hours, man, they got to put security all over the hotel. Let's not get any fights before Saturday, and let's have a good show, man.
Dana's going to be hit with a bill with all the damage that took place at that casino, man. Let me tell you, man, I know the hotel industry. A lap that costs $10 at a hotel costs like $120 when you break it. Crazy, man. Crazy shit.
So Nate Diaz, he said 4 guys were involved and 2 weren't of the 6 in the 3 main events. So
Li
Nate,
Lang and Rodriguez.
Yeah. So that means Tony Ferguson got involved too.
Probably.
I mean, El Kukui, I mean, you know, that guy's going to get involved. You figure he will. But we haven't seen his name being thrown around so much. It was more Khamzat, Nate, and Kevin Holland. But if Dana's saying that it was 4 out of the 6 guys, I mean, it's probably Tony Ferguson, and that's probably why you didn't see Tony Ferguson actually do a press conference. None of those fights did a press conference. Well, Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez wound up doing one, but Kevin Holland only seemed to have a problem with, I guess, Khamzat and Tony Ferguson, or maybe everybody was ganging up on Khamzat's team. Who knows what the hell was going on? I need the video. I need the footage. They need to put it on the UFC pay-per-view. You know how you sell more pay-per-views? You tell us that you have footage, and you will show it on the UFC pay-per-view. Before the fights start, you're going to show us the fights that happen that led to the press conference cancellation. You say you have the footage. You're going to show it, and then you show it, and more people will buy the pay-per-view. People are saying that Darren Till was there for sure because he's with Khamzat. He's on Khamzat's team, but people were saying Paulo Costa was there too. which doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Like, I don't understand why Paulo Costa would be there. I don't think he's associated with anybody on any team.
But he put out a weird. I just saw Paulo Costa put out a weird picture on Instagram.
He just showed Paulo Costa a picture of Khamzat in a coffin that he posted on his Twitter.
But he also had another picture with him and the Queen. He's giving the Queen the UFC belt or something and saying rest in peace. I mean, Paulo Costa, man, is flying high tonight, man. The secret juice is kicking in. Listen, man, this is crazy, and I'm seeing a lot of people talking I think it was Silent by Deadly. I saw something come in he was it's childish and things like that. He's absolutely right. These guys are professional fighters. You got to do your talking in the octagon or in the ring for boxing, wherever, man. I don't care on the mat for wrestling. But what's just for you, Silent by Deadly? The good thing about it is, controversy sells. We've seen that.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. If this does not happen, all three of us are probably talking about Nate doesn't have a chance. Nate's gonna have a beating. Nate's gonna get destroyed. Nate might get finished. Now we got a storyline, man. This is great, man. This is great.
Will these guys be able to coexist backstage while waiting to fight? Got to sit around for a while. They need lots of cops. That's what they need at UFC 279. Just lots of cops to keep everybody separated. And the great part about it is that a lot of them get to fight. It seems like Khamzat and Kevin Holland want to fight. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing that. Maybe we do a tournament on Saturday night. Just have everybody fight each other.
Well, I mean, look, with Kamaru Usman losing, he's probably getting a rematch against Leon. So if Khamzat wins, I'm not sure he gets a title shot right now. Who knows? If Kevin Holland wins, Khamzat, Kevin Holland, man, we could do that. I don't know. There's fights to be made from this. This is not
Listen,
bad.
man, I'm going to tell you, Freddie, Kevin Holland's going to have a very difficult night on Saturday night. Daniel Rodriguez is one tough dude, man. And to be honest, Kevin Holland, he's hot, he's cold, man. He's my ex-girlfriend.
He's not good at 170 as of yet.
Yeah, man, but you know what? He talks a lot. I just don't see him being able to manhandle Daniel. Daniel's one tough beast, man. It's going to be a tough night for Kevin Holland. But again, Kevin Holland surprises you. Sometimes he's steamrolling people, and other times he's getting steamrolled. The guy is too inconsistent, But he's there. It's going to be a tough fight. But, my pick is going the other way, man. I'm going with Daniel on this one.
Okay. Are we doing picks? Are we doing picks? Let's do picks. Daniel Rodriguez, 16-2. He's won 3 straight. Rodriguez is the underdog, I think. Plus 162 according to Bet99.com. Kevin Holland minus 200, the favorite. Yeah, that's a tough one. Daniel Rodriguez is really good. I'm surprised.
Yeah, man.
I'm surprised this fight isn't a little bit closer on the odds. That's a tough one. Kevin Holland doesn't seem to have his head in the game. Rodriguez is 35. Kevin is 29. I feel like Kevin Holland is getting better and just entering his prime. But Daniel Rodriguez is a tough fight. It's a stand-up fight, though. Kevin Holland is a good stand-up fighter. He's pretty tall as well.
He is, man. But this is the type of fight, if he's able to really weather the storm of Kevin Holland in the first round, when it goes a little bit further, it's going to go to the decision. I don't think Holland has what it takes to beat this guy. But, we've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah,
but he's a favorite. Yeah, it's a tough one. But he's a little bit – I looked at them when they kind of did the stare down for the minute that happened. Kevin Holland is he looked much bigger than Daniel. But,
yeah,
again, man, this is not an easy fight for Kevin Holland.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards –
That is the first
I was leaning towards Rodriguez. Kevin Holland. Honestly, I was kind of going to pick Kevin Holland. But now after this – Daniel Rodriguez didn't get involved in any of this. He didn't get involved in the backstage brawl. He's taking videos of it saying these guys are, fools, right?
Whacked.
Right?
They're whacked.
So Daniel Rodriguez has his head in the game. He's not messing around. He's serious. Kevin Holland is starting fights with guys that he's not fighting on Saturday night. So I'm going to go with Daniel Rodriguez, too. I think Daniel Rodriguez is just more focused. Kevin Holland's all over the place. We've seen that in his fights, talking too much, not really fighting.
He's like a cartoon character, man, or a video game guy, man. He's like, sometimes he comes out with these punches. It looks like it's a video game. And other times you're like, what the hell is this guy doing in the division?
It seems like he's fallen in love with being a UFC personality, you know?
Sure.
But he's a serious fighter. He's dangerous. He's won 2 in a row. Like,
Rodriguez is 6-1. Let's not forget that. You know, so it's going to be tough, dude. Rodriguez wants to show a lot. It's his first pay-per-view, man. So, look, he's coming out to showcase.
Fred, what do you think, Rodriguez or Holland?
I've liked Kevin Holland at welterweight, so I'm going to pick him for the win, but I'm not going to put him on my parlay because I feel the odds should be closer. But as far as picking a winner, I'm going to go with Kevin Holland because he's looked very good at 170 against Tim Means and I'm trying to remember what was his other fight, but Kevin Holland at 170 has looked good, and Rodriguez is a solid fighter, but I don't know. I still believe in Kevin Holland.
But this is a 180 fight. It's a catch weight.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think Rodriguez couldn't make 170 or something, so they did it at catch weight, which I think you're right. Holland at 170, it's a better spot for him. He's big for 170, but for 180... It's kind of in between. I don't know.
Look to who Kevin Holland lost. He lost to Vettori and he lost to Brunson. Those are big guys at 185. Yep. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I think Kevin Holland is a solid fighter. He lost him to some very good competition that is bigger than him. So I'm gonna go with him with the win tomorrow.
Yeah, I could see it. I'm not betting on this fight because I think Kevin Holland could win. Rodriguez is the underdog. I could see him pulling it off, but I'm not so sure. It's a tough one. Okay, what about the main event? Khamzat Chimaev right now minus 910. Nate Diaz plus 550. Is Nate worth a few bucks? Does Nate have a shot? I think Nate Diaz always has a shot based on the strength of being Nate Diaz. The problem is he's like, yeah, beat me, whatever. Just the press conferences that he has done, because he has done a lot of interviews. I've seen quite a few of them leading into this fight. Nate Diaz is like, yeah, whatever, beat me. After this, I got bigger things planned. He seems like he recognizes that Khamzat is kind of the new, younger thing coming up in the UFC, and he's being set up to fail. And I think he recognizes, like, oh, he might fail. He just doesn't seem hell-bent on victory. I don't know. There's something about the interviews that Nate has been doing leading up to this fight that make me question whether he's that motivated to go in there and fight Khamzat Chimaev. But he's got the cardio for days. He's really tough to finish. That always works. Cardio for days, tough to finish. The guy went 5 rounds with Leon Edwards, who's sitting right now as the UFC welterweight champion. And Nate almost finished Leon Edwards in that 5th round. I would argue that Nate Diaz came closer to finishing Leon Edwards than Kamaru Usman ever did in their fight. Kamaru was winning that fight, but he didn't really put Leon Edwards in danger of being finished, Nate put him in danger. Nate hurt him. Nate's always there. Nate's got great technique. It's just age for Nate and the motivation. He's been there.
And the wear and tear.
He's done that.
The wear and tear, Dave.
The wear and tear. He's been around. Also, he's just never had a lot of success at 170 pounds. Nate Diaz's best days were at 155. His brother Nick was great at 170. When he went up to 185, he didn't have that much success. Nate at 155 was a championship-level fighter. Nate at 170 struggled a lot. He made a run at 170 in his prime back in 2011. He lost to Dong Yeon Kim. He lost to Rory McDonald. Then he went back down to 155, went on a 3-fight win streak, lost to Benson Henderson for the title. Then he got TKO'd, head kicked by Josh Thompson, and that was really the only time Nate's ever been finished, that head kick, which was shocking. But then, of course, Nate comes back, beats Gray Maynard, loses to Dos Anjos, and then he beats Michael Johnson, And then he beats Conor McGregor, and then, of course, the legend of Nate Diaz is born. But Nate, fought Conor at welterweight and won, but Conor's not a welterweight. And when he fought guys like Jorge Masvidal or Leon Edwards, he lost. And that was at welterweight as well. His best fights were at 155. Khamzat Chimaev not only fights at welterweight, but also fights at middleweight. Khamzat is a much bigger guy than Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is not fighting at 185 and winning fights. He's not. So I got Khamzat. I just think Khamzat's too big, too young, too strong, too good. It's his time. He's winning. No matter what happens, it's Khamzat Chimaev. But I think it goes to decision, and I think it's going to be an awesome fight. I think this is going to be a tremendous fight. Could be a classic UFC fight. I think it'll go 5 rounds. I think Khamzat will be in danger. I think this will be like a turned-up version of Khamzat Chimaev and Gilbert Burns. That fight was chaos for 15 minutes. This is going to be chaos for 25. So get the popcorn ready. This is going to be awesome. I think this is going to be a great fight. Nate is not going to go down easy. I don't think Khamzat has the jiu-jitsu to stop Nate on the ground, and I don't think Khamzat will be able to put Nate's lights out because Nate is just so durable and so good at striking. His boxing is excellent. So I could see Nate hurting Khamzat. Honestly, I could see Khamzat overextending, overexposing himself, fighting a little bit too wide open and putting himself kind of in danger like Conor McGregor did in the first fight with Nate, where Nate kind of just stays there. You rush to put him away, but then when he's still there, you run out of gas and he puts you away. That could happen. That could happen. I don't think it will, but it could. It's one of the many possibilities going into a fight. There are many possibilities of how a fight could end. It just depends on, a lot of things, how it actually does end. But I think Nate, if Khamzat overextends himself, if he fights too wide open, he could get in trouble. He could lose.
And that's the magic of Nate Diaz, man. The guy is he's the real mystical Mac, man, because you never know what you get when you're fighting a Diaz brother. The thing is, you're absolutely right, man. The guy, you literally have to kill him to beat him. And we've seen that many, many times. He'll go the distance. He's got the cardio. This guy's a triathlete. He's a high-level cardiac machine. And he'll go that distance, take a beating, and still come out like the Energizer Bunny. The thing is that, and that's the thing. But this is 2022, Dave. This is not Diaz of the past. Sure. We're looking at his career. He's 20-13. He's 1-2 since 2019. Regardless, on paper, man, the guy is a veteran of veterans, but there's too much wear and tear on Diaz. I'm happy this is his last fight. I hope he just retires and just concentrates on his gym and takes care of the business on that side.
He's the biggest loser of the Anderson Silva Jake Paul announcement because he won't.
What do you mean?
He probably won't be. If Anderson Silva getting the Jake Paul fight is a fight that probably Nate Diaz would have been interested, but I think Anderson Silva is going to beat Jake Paul, and after that, is it still going to be interesting?
He could box Anderson Silva. Nate Diaz.
He could. Yeah, you're right. I'd watch that. I'd watch that for sure. Listen, man, and I'm going to tell you something. You're right, Freddie. I mean, that's the only thing I can see Diaz trying to get himself into, a fight with Jake Paul. And to be honest, man, not to jump ship there, but I put out a TikTok feed for Ringside, who will win. And right now, there's hundreds and hundreds of responses on our page. And right now it's going 66% to Anderson Silva to beat Jake Paul.
Makes sense.
How
about this?
But I'm on the other side of the fence for that. I'm on the other side, dude.
I'm with Anderson. Yeah. We're talking about a more real fight here. Khamzat Chimaev and Nate Diaz. Does anybody think Nate gets finished? We all think Khamzat wins.
I do.
You think Nate gets finished?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Tapped or
TKO? Blood. Okay. Too bloody. The ref stops it at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that happening.
Yeah. It could happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it gets to the ground, man, it's going to pound.
Okay, Nate, He had a nice 5th round against Leon Edwards. But other than that, man, Leon Edwards was dominating that fight. Against Jorge, Nate got dominated in that fight. He beat Anthony Pettis, but then there's the 2 Conor McGregor fights, Michael Johnson. I mean, those are good fighters, but Khamzat's another level than all these guys I just named, in my opinion. And he's bigger, and it reminds me of the time that Nate fought Rory McDonald. I expect this fight to be a little bit similar to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see it going that way. 5 rounds, though, it's a lot for Nate to withstand. He might get finished. It's possible. It's possible. Okay, we all got Khamzat Chimaev, unfortunately. I want to pick Nate Diaz, but I just don't think he's going to win.
Man. Listen,
you know,
my heart
I like
is with
him.
Diaz,
I just don't
man.
think he's going to win.
Who doesn't like the Diaz brothers, man? Everybody loves the Diaz brothers. Like, and that's the thing. It's hard for me to go against these guys, but the truth is that we got to pick based on, like, you know, facts. And the facts are that it's going to be a tough ride for Diaz on Saturday night. And I'm kind of with Freddie with the fact that it's probably going to end by TKO. It's not going to go the distance. Khamzat is just one big beast with so much talent, and he's hungry, and he is the king in the making. And
I mean, he's coming up. You know, he's 28 years old. He's on the come up. Nate's on his way out. It's the last fight of his UFC contract. He might be retiring from MMA. He's 37 years old. I mean, at a certain point, things change, you know, and the UFC decided to do Nate and Khamzat to build Khamzat's name, and Nate is aware of that. You know, he's aware of that.
And let's be honest. If it wasn't like Nate Diaz fighting Khamzat now, with his record, he's not even ranked in that division in a sense. Would he be fighting Khamzat, who's really needs to fight a real contender? No. But because it's Nate Diaz with the name, you know, the history, you know, that's why he's there. And it's just not a good fight for him to end his career. I would have liked to see him fight Conor, man. You know, but hey, it's too bad. It is what it is.
Yeah, it looks like we won't ever see that Nate Conor trilogy. No, I'm looking. I thought there was maybe some footage of the fight, but there is still no footage. This is what's bothering me. I want some pictures. I want backstage footage.
Yeah.
Ariel Helwani saying Khamzat Chimaev was by himself backstage?
I don't believe that, man.
I don't know.
Ariel, stop smoking, man.
You don't believe
those
nothing,
dirty cigars. I don't believe nothing, man. Listen, I believe one thing. The press conference got canceled, so something is up, and it's not good.
Well, apparently Khamzat push-kicked Kevin Holland in the chest.
Yeah, I read that too.
That's what Helwani's reporting. And that started the fight, and then that got broken up, but then Chimaev and Diaz started fighting, and they started throwing stuff at each other.
Probably
Crazy.
A water bottle.
Crazy
it's
stuff.
Always at the buffet line, man. Why do these guys always fight near the buffet? Who's paying the bill? I'm sure it's going to be Dana White.
I need this.
All right.
I need this. I need this fight here on Saturday night. Let's go. We got to see this. This is going to be good. Okay,
good.
let's.
By the way, Dave, mention the watch along that we're going to be doing a watch along on Saturday.
10 p.m. Eastern time, Saturday night when the pay-per-view starts. That's when we start. We'll be talking to you. We'll be watching the fights. It's going to be a good time. We'll be watching UFC 279, see if our picks come true, and win you some money. A lot of people here fighting on this card. We've got Li Jinglang, Tony Ferguson. Anybody going with Tony Ferguson?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's on my parlay.
Oh.
Yeah. And
okay.
Listen,
Tony
Lee's
Ferguson
a
right
guy.
now coming in plus 250, the underdog. Li Jinglang minus 334, the favorite. Tony just hasn't looked great lately.
And he's
Li
moving up,
Jinglang's
man.
coming off a TKO win over Muslim Salikov. I don't know.
Look, it's a
think
tough
Li
fight,
Jinglang.
man. Tony's moving up a weight class. You know, Lee is like, he has powerful punches. He's super fast. He's going to be a bigger fighter than Tony Ferguson. But let's not forget, this is Tony Ferguson. Hasn't looked great of late. But there's one thing with Tony Ferguson and Nate Diaz. These guys, man, go the distance. And I don't think Lee has the cardio to keep up with Tony when it goes that distance. It's going to be a tough fight for Lee. But I think Tony Ferguson is coming out, and he's going to prove something. He looked good when he ran out on the press conference.
By submission.
You think so?
Yeah.
Listen, man, all the odds are on Lee to beat Tony Ferguson. There's, you know, all money is there that Lee is going to knock out Tony Ferguson. I think these people are on crack. I don't think Tony Ferguson is going down. I think it's going to be the opposite. I think Lee is going down, man.
I think it's maybe because the last time we saw Tony Ferguson, he looked like this.
Yeah, he looked like that, but damn, did he fight well. He continued going, this guy.
But look at his face. What happened? He aged like a million years in one kick.
Chandler's a much better fighter. Like, I know it's another division, but I consider Chandler to be a much better fighter than Li Jingliang. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not that high on Li Jingliang. Although he had a very nice suit, like I've seen the pictures of him at the press conference, and he looked sharp and all. But I got Tony Ferguson, man, getting back on a winning side, hopefully, and getting a second win to his career. I hope so.
I would like to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I got Li Jingliang by knockout. I think he knocks him out quick. He's going to be too big, too strong for Tony Ferguson. I don't know. I think it's done for Tony Ferguson, unfortunately. AJ, your boy Johnny Walker's an underdog coming in against Ian Cutelaba.
Johnny!
You going with Johnny?
He's on my parlay.
Oh, Freddie's got a big parlay ready. Maybe I shouldn't even wait. Maybe I should just go to Freddie's parlay.
So it's Tony Ferguson, Johnny Walker, and Yohan Lainez.
Yeah, the White Lion, Yohan Lainez from Quebec. He is going to be opening up this card. First fight on the prelim, plus 105 the underdog. He's going to be on Dave's parlay too. The White Lion, although
he's amazing, man. He lost his last fight.
Last week we went with our boy Charles Jourdain, and he was on our parlay, and I was really excited for Charles, and then he lost, and
too bad, man.
You know,
it was a tough one, man.
I mean, it kind of messed up my parlay a little bit, you know, and I feel like sometimes I go with my heart instead of my brain, and maybe this is one of those cases because I really like Yohan Lainez, and I want him to win because he's from here, and let's go, but then I'm thinking, uh-oh, he's the underdog. Maybe I shouldn't be betting on him because I just want him to win because he's from here, but Fred's picking him on his parlay. Fred, you got him, Yohan, the White Lion, and who? Tony Ferg?
Johnny Walker.
And Johnny Walker.
Tony Ferguson.
AJ, you got the show on or something? What are you doing?
I don't have no show on, man.
Oh, that's Fred.
Don't blame AJ. AJ always gets blamed for everything.
I mean, it's
usually...
usually...
I saw another video of Kevin Holland, and I think it's Darren Till, so I was trying to understand what was happening there.
Oh. I'm trying
Give
to
me another pint.
There it is. There is the Fred parlay. Yohan Lainez, Tony Ferg, Johnny Walker, $20 gets you $387.98. That's a plus 1780 parlay. Nice parlay from Team Freddy. Lainez, the White Lion, Tony Ferguson, El Kukui, and Johnny Walker, the man, not the drink. That's a good parlay there from Team Fred. AJ, you got a parlay for me?
I just quickly with Fred's pick with Yohan, man. He's fighting Darian Weeks. Look, I'm not going to put him on my parlay, but I'm going to tell you one thing, is that Freddie is on the right start. Yohan lost his last fight. He's trained so much now. He's like, most people don't know.
Him on your parlay.
Don't be a bitch, AJ.
No, man, I'm going to be
scared,
a bitch.
homie.
Because it's, listen, man, you know what? I'm going to do it for the queen. Listen, Yohan is a good pick, Freddie. I like it. He's going to win big time, man, and I think this guy doesn't deserve to be on early prelim. He needs to be on a prelim card, or eventually he's going to end up on a main card. I can see this happening. He's like the no-name that everyone's going to remember in the future. I'm telling you, this guy's amazing. But you want me to go with my picks, Dave, or not?
Yeah, man, finally, please.
Take it easy, man.
I'm waiting.
Jesus, get George on. Where's George? Listen, I'm gonna go with Khamzat for sure. I think it's gonna be like a barn burner. It's gonna end like in a TKO. I'm pretty much with Freddie.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go with Tony Ferguson. I don't think Lee has, even though he's a bigger guy, I don't think he has that experience that Tony Ferguson has, and he doesn't have the heart of Tony or the craziness of Tony to continue fighting when your jaw is in the back of your head. That's the thing with Tony. You gotta kill him to beat him. Then I'm not going with Kevin Holland. I'm telling you, even though he's the favorite, I think Daniel's going to pull it off. I think it's probably going to go to a decision. He's looked good in his last 2 fights. History shows sometimes he has these great wins and then he has these weird losses. But I just think this whole melee tonight and whatnot, I think Kevin's head is somewhere else. But Daniel looked really focused, so I'm going with Daniel. Oh, man, this is going to be a tough one, man, for me. The Johnny Walker fight, like at first I'm like, fuck Johnny, man. Every time I go with Johnny, he breaks my drink. And the only thing that I like about him is that he stopped doing like some drugs that were making him like a little bit wonky and all that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, man. Like Johnny's like off the bottle, man. But I'm probably gonna go with Freddie. I'm gonna go with Johnny Walker. My heart wants to go with Ian, but I think Johnny Walker's gonna actually pull it off. And he has like the best dancing videos.
4-fight parlay? Are you done? 4 fights.
Khamzat,
Ferguson, Rodriguez, and Walker.
Man, you know what? Put in Irene Aldana for the win.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I'm gonna do it. That is a good pick. Man. Damn, I can't believe
AJ's parlay. It's Khamzat Chimaev. It's Tony Ferguson. It's Daniel Rodriguez. It's Johnny Walker. It's Irene Aldana. $20 gets you $857.59 over at bet99.com. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
You better believe it.
Aldana, the Walker, Rodriguez, Ferguson, Khamzat. I mean, it won't come through, but it's pretty good in theory.
What the hell, man?
What?
I'm telling you, man, as crazy as this night is, I have a feeling my card is going to come out. I can feel it.
If you say so. All right, Team Dave parlay. We're going to make things interesting here. We're going to make things real interesting. It's going to be a 4-fight parlay. All on the main card.
Okay.
Keeping it fun, keeping it spicy. We're going with Khamzat Chimaev. We're going with Daniel Rodriguez over Kevin Holland. We're going with Irene Aldana over Macy Shiason. And we're going with Ion Cutelaba over Johnny Walker. We're going with the Coot. Big Coot. It's a 4-fight parlay. Cutelaba, Aldana, Rodriguez, and Chimaev. $20 gets you $138.66. It's not as big a payoff as Freddie or AJ, but it's money for you at bet99.com. What?
I said it's pretty good payout, man, for $20.
4 fights. Yep, 138.66. Cutelaba, Aldana, Rodriguez, and Chimaev. And that's the UFC 279 parlays. All the picks, all the things going on. And, we've got Jake Paul, Anderson Silva official. Rest in peace to the Queen. And episode 600 of Wrestling Uncensored is tomorrow night, so definitely tune in for that. Episode 600 of Wrestling Uncensored. Johnny North and I will be talking about everything, all the backstage brawls in AEW. Tonight we talk about backstage brawls in the UFC. Tomorrow there'll be the backstage brawls in AEW, and we also will have some surprises on the show. Some surprises on the show for episode 600, so definitely tune in tomorrow night at 10 p.m.
We had a party for 500. You remember that?
Yeah.
We had Proper 12. We had Wally that came in from Ireland. We had people coming in from Toronto. Just for people that are just tuning into our show for the first time, we had like a pretty crazy party. People came in. Listen, man, Ringside Report, man, we're raw, but we have a good time. And that was 500, dude. That's crazy, man.
Yes.
That's when we were at TSN. 600, man.
We are going strong.
Are you getting the strippers? Are you getting like the party going? What's happening, man? Tell me. Am I invited?
No.
Bastard.
We're just going to do a show, talk about wrestling.
That's it?
I will have a couple surprises.
Okay, I'm tuning in.
I might even dig into my bag of tricks and do a giveaway. Who knows?
What? I hope I win, man.
No, not you. You will definitely not be eligible for anything like that. I would say probably just, special people. Cool people like Patrick C. Hamilton and Silent by Deadly who are members of the team. Don't forget to join.ringsidereport.net, join.ringsidereport.net, and support the Ringside Report Network. You could join the show if you're a member. $5 a month supports the show quite a bit and keeps us going strong, keeps us buying these pay-per-views that we're going to buy on Saturday night, UFC 279, to watch the pay-per-view along with you, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, coming up on Saturday. And AJ will be here, Freddie will be here, and all of that.
We'll have a
Fred,
good time, man.
are you going to be you at jiu-jitsu tomorrow morning?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you at the watch-along, Freddie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be.
Yeah.
Come on, Freddie, man.
As long as the Nate Khamzat fight doesn't get canceled, I think Fred's still down. All right?
Pull out your Jamaican bat, so you guys, man. Do it in tribute to Diaz's last fight.
That doesn't help to stay awake.
I'm going to bring my Johnny Walker, man.
I don't think you understand. You think weed keeps you awake? I don't. You, me, Fred, and Nate Diaz have to have a conversation about the effects of marijuana, AJ. All right?
Well, Johnny Walker's off it now, and I have a feeling he's going to perform on Saturday. You went with the wrong pick, Dave. Just telling you.
I gave my brother I can't even talk about this, Fred. I'll tell you later.
Why not? Tell me, man. I'm curious.
Because it's too much. It's too much.
Don't be a King Charles.
I gave him a gummy. I gave him 2 gummies, Fred. You know the gummies I'm talking about? I gave him 2, and he wants to take one because he's taking a flight. And I said, just take one. I said, just take one. He wanted to take 2.
Where is he flying?
I don't want to say. I don't want to reveal. But he wanted to take 2 on the flight, and I was like, dude, just take 1. 1 is enough. I took one the other day. I ate one of those gummies, and I was like, this is too much. This is like, it was like shockingly strong. I was really surprised because I'm not an amateur when it comes to this, and I was like, damn, this is 250 milligrams. 250 milligrams is a lot. It's a lot.
Were you fatigued or what, man? Or was it the other way? I don't know.
I slept for like 12 hours, so you tell me.
What? Shit, I should take a couple then.
Yeah, it's good. Very restful. Yeah, it's nice. It's crazy.
So, like, if your brother took 2, he would have slept the whole flight. It would have been okay, man.
No, because you don't sleep. It's not like you sleep right away. Like you're.
Thing is I'd be scared to not be comfortable in that chair. Like, when sometimes your head just goes like, and now you're in a plane, man.
But Freddie, you gotta do what I do. Man. You just put your head on someone's lap.
I know planes are safe these days, man, but fuck, man, I don't want to be that high and that high.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I probably would. I probably would just to take my mind off being in an airplane. I don't like being in an airplane. I don't like flying. Freaks me out. You're too high up. It's like, don't look down.
I'm not sure the gummy's going to help.
Yeah, you're going to get pretty high with those gummies, man.
I think you'll be all right. Yeah. Well, anyways, I think I convinced him to do the right thing. So there you go.
That's what they probably gave to the driver of like the Princess Diana car, the limo driver.
Oh my god! I don't think they had weed gummies back then in the 90s. When did weed gummies start existing? When did that happen? When did that come to exist? We should ask Nate Diaz if somebody can locate him. Is there any breaking news before we go on the UFC 279 Brawls or anything else we need to update the people on before we wrap up?
Well, thank them for listening to us, jabronis.
Yeah, speak for yourself. I'm no jabroni over here. But I do want to thank all the new people checking us out tonight and all the new subscribers. Appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and like the video. It helps us very much to grow the channel and keep us going strong. Super strong.
Oh, yeah. That's it?
That's it.
Is there any other news? So. Nothing?
Is this Kevin Holland here?
He's at the buffet line again. What's
Is
he
this
doing?
Kevin Holland? Hold on. Maybe we have some video of this? What is this? It seems like... So there is footage that seems like it's in a casino of Darren Till and Kevin Holland with a bunch of people between them having some words. You saw that too, Fred?
Yeah, that's when you told me you blamed AJ for listening to something. It was me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there was like a confrontation between Kevin Holland and Darren Till. People are saying Paulo Costa. I still don't see Paulo Costa. I don't know.
He's still eating, bud.
So a giant brawl. Tony Ferguson came out to like entertain the crowd, and after the brawl, after Dana had canceled the press conference. Damn. So crazy.
He threw a baseball into the crowd. I mean,
throwing a baseball into the crowd. Yeah, I'm seeing that video.
Yeah.
Here's Tony Ferguson on the podium.
Maybe the Yankees need him, Dave. Just saying.
What's the score?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. I watched the Blue Jays, bud.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Score in the Yankees game.
Freddie watches the Houston Astros, man.
Yeah, well, that's better. I mean, they're a better team.
I think it's you.
It's 2-2. What the hell's going on?
They're going down.
It's
Yankees
2-2.
suck.
The Yankees were up 2-0. It's now 2-2. Come on, Fred. Be cool. Okay. I'll be back here tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Wrestling Uncensored episode 600. Then Freddie and AJ and I will be back Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for UFC 279, the watch along. This has been Ringside Report MMA on the Ringside Report Network.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.